With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It's time to handle with care. Now, your host, Carrie Madrid.
What is up? Welcome to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. My name is Chris Donovan. I am the co-host and producer here with Carrie Madrid from thecareprojectinc.org. Now, this show is a little bit different. A little over a year ago, I posted something on my business site on Facebook asking anyone to start a podcast. Right now is the best time, and let's do it. So guess who hit me up? Carrie. She had a big, bright idea, and this podcast is now 1 year old. This is our 1 year anniversary show. Now, there's no guest on this show. It's just Carrie and I kind of reminiscing about our past shows, some of our themed shows, some of our guests, and some of the moments that we've had on this podcast that have been really amazing and have been able to help people throughout their life. I feel honored to be a part of this show, and I know Carrie does too. So enjoy our conversation, and thank you all for listening. Rate, review, subscribe. Let's keep this podcast going for at least another year.
Hey.
What's up, Carrie? How are you?
What's cracking?
Nothing. This is our 1 year show.
I can't even believe it.
Can you believe that one day I said, hey, you want to start a podcast? And you said, okay.
I said, yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that. And then what happened?
Now you made coasters.
Now we have coasters. We have coasters made by artist Ayanna Clark.
Oh, Ayanna made those?
Yeah, she made them.
She's
She's digital art.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I thought you did like a Vista print. Or...
Yeah, no. No. We support small business here.
Yes, we do, because that's what we both are.
Yes, we are. The Care Project Inc., and this is funner.
Yes, I'm Chris Donovan. That is Carrie Madrid, and this is Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond, podcast that Carrie wanted to do a year ago, and we are here 1 year later with successful shows. We're in more countries than I can count.
Yeah.
And we have spoken to a ton of people about their life experiences, how they're handling cancer, or how they're handling mom having cancer, or couples that had cancer together. Like, we've covered so many different topics on this.
Even parents, yeah. Parents that had a child with cancer, and
yes,
and the long-lasting effects emotionally, physically, financially. We've covered the gamut.
Your son was on the show, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it was great the way we started it, though.
Absolutely.
How did we start? What was the first episode that we did?
We talked to Vernon Todd, who is like a brother to me.
And a lifesaver. He was with me during the scariest time in my life following reconstruction and a complication that damn near killed me.
Yeah, and that was a heavy episode to start it off.
And I always thought, I wonder if we shouldn't have started out that way. Because if someone listened to that, they'd be like, yeah, I don't think I want to listen to this show going forward.
Well, no, then we got into the more show. I mean,
yeah,
it was pretty heavy because I remember thinking when we were recording going, wait, no, he saved your life. Like, that definitely needs to be in the title somewhere and needs to be brought up because if he wasn't there, you might not be here.
Yeah, and I think, too, people, when they think reconstruction, breast cancer, a lot of the dumb things that are said to us, well, at least you get new boobs or whatever. and we know, and now because of all these shows we've done, that it's reconstruction is not just a, no-brainer for everybody. One. Two, you can have, really bad complications, which most people, I don't know if most is the right adjective. A lot of people don't. I did. So that's what that episode is. So.
And not to mention when you get reconstruction, you're putting artificial materials in your body. Could be complications, and they have to be like what do they call that? Like updated or upgraded or at least checked on every so often?
And I didn't have implants.
Yeah.
And so that too was another myth that I wanted to debunk is like not everybody has implants. And so I didn't, and yet I still had complications.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think, but we went with that one to start because we wanted to give people the background of who I was.
Correct. And what the Care Project was about and why Carrie started it and all that stuff.
Right.
So that was the great way to start it off. It was heavy, but then we moved into, we have, like I said, 52 shows on here. This is the 53rd show.
Right.
Because it's a year, 52 weeks in a year. Yes, we
Right.
can do math. Second one, though, was the first cancer patient I got to meet beside you was Lavetta. And this is the first time of myself meeting her. We were recording it in the studio or in the office before we had the studio built.
Yeah.
And man, Lavetta's a badass.
She is, and she does it with grace and dignity.
Now, she's a metastatic breast cancer patient. Can you explain what metastatic means?
Yeah, so it means that her cancer has spread outside of the breast. So she had treatment initially, thought she was good in remission. Well, she was in remission for a time, and then it came back. And now she's considered stage 4 metastatic, also sometimes called terminal.
Yeah.
But the way that she talks about her experience in settling into managing that is just beyond. A lot of people commented on that episode about, oh my gosh.
She's got such grace.
Such grace and such perspective. Just a calm book. But we know she can get feisty.
Oh, yeah. She was on the Whining with Cares. We'll get to the Whining with Cares in a few.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go down the list. I mean, I've been introduced to so many people recording the show and, with you and producing it I mean, Jim Keegan, men can get breast cancer too.
Absolutely. And that was your introduction into male breast cancer.
It was.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that they could get it one time. I'm like, oh, crap. And then it just got deeper and deeper in each episode. And I'm like,
I think your initial response was, oh, crap, now I have something else to worry about.
I know, right? And then now I keep rubbing my boob.
Yeah.
My moob. It's my moob.
You got to check it out.
But yeah, that one was interesting to me because it did dive in on male breast cancer.
It did. And he had great care. And he actually worked in the medical field. Administrative side, but he was very well taken care of, and he speaks to that. So that was a good episode.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
The managing the emotional and psychological effects.
Yeah, so we were joined by my longtime friend I've known her since 8th grade. She's a licensed clinical social worker, Rachel Addo, who serves on our wellness team here. Mm-hmm. So if we have a topic that a bunch of survivors really need to talk about and get some coping skills, she helps. So that was a good, kind of emotional episode for me. Her mom is a 2-time survivor. Oh. So Rachel came from a caregiver's perspective as well as a mental health professional, as well as my friend.
Wow.
So it was, I have the chill saying that.
That's three different aspects of that life.
Yeah.
Your friend is one.
Really good episode. I think this is the first episode where I had an aha moment.
Yeah.
Maybe with Vern too, because I talked a little bit about me not asking for help and how it almost cost me my life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was. Oof.
Yeah.
And then we had Norma Lopez on.
Yep.
Who does Reiki? Now
she's
you can explain what that is.
She's a survivor too. Yeah, she's a survivor, and she does Reiki. That's just one of the things she does. But it's energy. It's energy. How do you say it? Energy.
Transferring of energy or sharing of energy?
It's like, oh crap, I'm having a chemo brain.
Oh, I need
chemo brain. We need that.
We need that
sound. Crickets. We could use the crickets.
Yeah, right. I think it's the bottom left.
But it's energy. It's energy healing is what it is.
Okay.
And so we talk about my experience with it. And so people think, oh, it's hoodoo voodoo. No, it's a really great practice to try. I recommend it. In fact, I still need to get you a session.
I was going to bring that up right now.
Yeah. Well, I got you.
I want to try it out.
Yeah.
I don't remember who was on the dating and intimacy.
We had Ayana and Lavetta on.
Oh, yeah.
We had Ayana and Lavetta on with me because all three of us were single.
That's right. And we recorded out there again.
We recorded out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The first few episodes, the quality's not so awesome because I was on my work laptop and
we were recording out in
a
the
makeshift
big room. And
yeah. So we talked about sex and dating and intimacy following cancer. So as single survivors, it's just a whole ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough. I mean, especially when this happened, we were talking middle of COVID too.
Yeah, middle of COVID.
So you not only are you having to try to find someone that's compatible with you, explain to them that you've been through this, just down this rocky road, and you're still here and you're thriving, and then, do you have a mask?
Right. And like Ayana hasn't had reconstruction. She's totally flat. Mm-hmm. Lavetta has one breast. She only had a single mastectomy. I've had crazy reconstruction. Mm-hmm. And then we've all been thrown into early menopause.
Yeah.
Insert dry vagina.
There you go.
Chris is like, this is not what I signed up for.
That was the dry vagina episode. There you go. That was what we should have called it.
Stop it.
But yeah, no, that would have. I've learned a lot. I could say that.
You're like TMI.
Which I think my wife actually appreciates a little bit.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what? I think that it's all health though.
Yes.
Right. It's not just sex, like in the dirty way. This is literally your sexual health, which is your health and wellness.
And when I guess I think the law is after I turn 40, I can't giggle at the word sex.
Well. Moving on.
I know, right? All right, so the next one was breast cancer and PTSD.
With Gina.
Which is a huge thing, yeah.
Yeah, Gina was diagnosed with triple negative after one of her good friends just passed away from triple negative. Mm-hmm. And she had lost her dad to cancer as well. So she really suffers still to this day and manages PTSD. So we talk about the importance of counseling and therapy. And like there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we should probably all have it. Cancer or not.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Or at least someone to talk to, like a really good friend to have. Because
absolutely.
If you don't have that, it's really hard. But yeah, right. The next one we went through, we talked to your son.
We did. We talked to Anthony, and I just wanted to get his perspective, and he's really laid back. And so it was kind of hard for me because he was dealing with two babies in the background, my grandbabies, and I feel like I almost was like pulling teeth asking him questions, but we just let the conversation go. And again, it got really good reviews from the people that I know. They enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, no, it took him a little while to warm up. I think he was a little afraid to say what he could say around his mom.
I think he's very protective of me.
I agree.
And he knows that I take a lot of things personal, if you will. And that sounds weird, but I'm very sensitive to him.
Yeah.
We have a very special bond. So it was good to have a conversation with him.
It was. And it was fun to talk to him too. You know, I've only talked to him a few times. So working with you and then getting, his insight, it's like, a little more backstory on that.
Right.
And then Tammy joined us, who lost her husband. Again, males can get breast cancer too.
Yeah.
Lost her husband from breast cancer.
Yeah. Tammy Porter's a dynamic speaker and writer. And I had seen an article on her. I actually saw an article that she wrote that was published, and it talked about her losing her husband, the love of her life, to breast cancer and her experience. And so I reached out to her through the Male Breast Cancer Coalition, which we're both a part of. And I said, I've got to be your friend. You are my friend. I need to talk to you. And we are literally really good friends now. So that's a dynamic episode.
Yeah, she had to do CPR on her husband in a Laker game.
Yeah, because he also had some heart issues.
Yeah, God, that's gnarly. Yeah, she's
awesome.
She is awesome. I mean, everybody that I've met through here is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth, everybody that's been on the show, everybody that works here, which there's not a lot, but everybody that is part of the CARE project, they were road dogs for sure.
Yeah.
They were all at the Havana Club night the other day.
Yeah,
it was Havana Nights fundraiser we had, so that was really great.
That was cool.
Where are we? We are at From Embarrassed to Advocacy with Michael Singer.
Yeah, Michael Singer is a badass from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
Another male survivor who initially was too embarrassed to talk about it, made his wife Patty promise that she wouldn't tell anybody, and finally he just said enough is enough, and now he's one of their strongest advocates for the Male Breast Cancer Coalition, which you can find at malebreastcancercoalition.org. Incredible.
Yeah, they do some great work, and you're connected directly with them. I've been on a couple Zooms with them.
Yeah.
One, I'm kind of going to jump up a little bit, but one being one of the most important shows we've had on this with Dr. Knowles, which is Beyonce's father, who was diagnosed with breast cancer. He calls it chest.
Yeah, he chooses to call it chest cancer for, in his words, marketing purposes.
Correct.
He thinks that he can reach more Black and brown men by calling it chest cancer versus breast cancer. But we all know that technically and anatomically and medically, that's incorrect information.
And confusing.
It's misinformation, and all in the name of awareness, which we heavily disagree with.
Okay, so I got a text from Carrie in the middle of this Zoom call where she was on there with the Male Breast Cancer Coalition and Dr. Knowles. And when he said chest, all hell broke loose, kind of.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes. People were kind of like texting each other kind of behind the scenes, like, what did he just say?
Well, and we knew that he had been on the Dr. Oz show, and several of the advocates from the Male Breast Cancer Coalition went there and were in the audience and said, hey, we're here for you, buddy. Let's talk, blah, blah, blah. So when he joined that monthly call with the coalition on Zoom, there were several of us, caregivers, widows, survivors, people in treatment, male and female. And I think he came in to basically give his spiel about selling his story and all of that. But he failed to realize he was talking to his peers.
Yeah.
And he kept saying how he was going to save all these lives by raising awareness and using chest. And he said something like, imagine how much better men could feel about themselves if they said chest cancer versus breast. And we all just, the hairs on the back of our neck stood up, just because the Male Breast Cancer Coalition, and then me as an aside through the CARE Project, have raised so much awareness and done so much work to de-genderize this disease and destigmatize it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not less of a woman, and a man isn't less of a man.
No,
and someone who doesn't identify with either gender, they're not less of a human because they have breast cancer.
Or they don't have reconstruction and they have a flat chest. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were all just pleading with him in the most respectful, kind way that we could to say, look, we hear you and we get it. And he's an older gentleman, so I get it. If my dad were diagnosed, he may have the same perspective. And Michael Singer had that at first.
He did.
And I think Ron Rappaport also, I might be misspeaking, but a couple of the other men that we've talked to have all said there was some form of embarrassment, but that eventually they come around with, no, this is not a female disease. And so that's why,
if they can destigmatize it for one or two other guys or kids or young gentlemen that get breast cancer, then that's helpful.
So the episode that we talked to after I was on that call, I texted Chris. I'm like, oh, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this.
Watch
now.
this video now.
Yeah, I was like, you need to watch this. Watch the whole damn thing. But the thing, because it's on YouTube, you can find it on YouTube. But we did an episode with 3 widows. So we talked to them about the importance of calling it what it is. Calling it what it is.
And it was a fun episode. I definitely recommend that one because, we're positive here all the time. We're trying to bring advocacy on different levels and different angles and stuff, but this definitely triggered.
But we keep it real, too.
Oh, yeah,
and sometimes it's not funny.
No, but sometimes it's really fun to hear you
sometimes
talk about it. I'll tell you
Such an ass. Yeah, we probably won't hit every episode today, but we'll just skip through some of the highlights. We have let me just say this real quick before I forget with my chemo brain. I just want to thank everybody that has agreed to be on this show. They had no clue what they were signing up for. We don't give questions ahead of time.
Nope.
We've always said we don't do interviews. We just have a conversation. And I think that we all have value to add to other people's lives. And I have seen the reviews on this, and I've seen from the caregiver's perspective to someone who's just been a friend of mine and didn't really know what I had been through, to parents and, kids.
Well, me, I knew you. I knew your past and stuff, but I didn't know all the details.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not going to hound you for them.
Right.
But when they come up in conversation, I'll find out. But this podcast has opened my eyes up.
It's opened a lot of eyes, yeah.
So I was going to look and see if I can find maybe some comments, some reviews on Apple here in a second. But I wanted to bring up Kathy Jazzercise, right?
Kathy Azevedo.
She
founder of Support Sisters. Yeah.
Had passed, right?
She recently passed. She was, I think, a 3-time cancer survivor, and then came back again and basically inhabited her entire body.
You should have a port in her brain.
Yeah, she had several things done, and so she created Support Sisters, which is a nonprofit serving female patients with gynecological and breast cancer. They do very much what the CARE Project does. They just don't have an office, but they help pay bills, and then they have a support group.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, and they meet up once a month, I think. They have their sister sit down, and it's a fantastic organization.
And it's Support Sisters with a Z. Support Sisters with a Z at the end .org. Yeah, yes. And she was amazing.
She was awesome.
The thing that I loved the most about her was the jazzercise.
And I felt, you know what? I have the chills. I just got to throw this in. Yeah, she taught jazzercise for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then she ran for city council just because she thought, screw this, I want to make a difference.
And she got it.
She served on city council, I think, for 12 years. And then she became the mayor of Norco, California, which we call Horsetown, right?
Yeah, Horsetown.
So she stayed there her whole life. Yeah, she was incredible. She is the one guest. Now, I've interviewed a celebrity, if you will, with our former NFL player, Devin Still, through Zoom. But having Kathy here, I was more nervous than when I talked with Devin Still, because I felt like she is such a force to be reckoned with. She's
changed lives.
A legend.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like I was so honored to be here You're going to make me cry. When she hugged me before she left, she said, I thanked her so much for coming. And she said, what an honor to be in your presence. She said that to me.
To you, yeah.
And she meant it.
She said it was an honor to be on the show.
Yeah.
We're like, well, it's an honor to have you here.
Yeah, she was so fragile. I mean, it wasn't long after that she passed.
Mm-hmm.
That was really an honor to have her.
She was very awesome. She
Yeah.
brought her a couple people with her and stuff. So support sisters with a Z.
Yep.
.org. They are a great organization that can help you out if you're in the Corona, Norco, Mayor Loma, East Vale,
Yeah.
whatever city you think that, Wineville, whatever it is.
Yeah, which is in Southern California. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
She was awesome. One person that I really enjoyed having on because she don't give no Fs, Story Nagel.
Story. House of Volta. She's the co-founder of House of Volta, which is all about helping women who've experienced breast cancer really reconnect with their bodies and embracing themselves as they are. Self-love and just self-esteem and all that. She is a character. She
follow
has
her on Facebook and
no
have
Fs
fun.
to give, but she's a very loving person.
Yes.
But she comes across like me, where sometimes we're brash and sometimes
I
we're
would say more just straight to the point.
we are.
Yeah, more. Don't dance around it. Just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that breast cancer has given that you that superpower.
Yeah, and she does incredible work.
She does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome.
What's
Go
the name of
check
the
her out.
company again?
House of Volta.
Okay, check that out.
HAUS, House of Volta.
And then you've partnered with a ton of people, not just the support sisters of or House of Volta, Lymphedivas. Sorry, I always say it wrong.
Lymphedivas. Yeah, we talked to Josh, whose sister and her friend, both breast cancer survivors, started Lymphedivas. Lymphedivas.com. They provide compression garments, so sleeves, gauntlets, gloves, to help survivors manage lymphedema. So many of us, when we have a mastectomy, they cut into your armpit, so it's called an axillary dissection. They take a peek in, check your lymph nodes, see if cancer's moved there. If so, they remove all your lymph nodes or a couple of them. Personally, I had all of mine removed.
Yeah, I was going to say, yours are all gone.
So as a result, the lymph fluid in your system doesn't keep flowing, and so your arm can swell and be painful, and it's just bad.
This helps circulation
Yeah,
and stuff.
so this simulates having the compression.
Muscles.
So we have a great...
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
partnership with them in that we can offer these sleeves free of cost to patients who are uninsured, underinsured, or just simply unable to afford. So that was a good conversation.
It was. And because you guys support each other so much, that's what I've learned from you and all the people that are here. Like, I mean, even Lavetta and, Story, Heather, everybody's involved still. It's not like they're like, I want to say it's more like you're building this sisterhood in a sense.
Yeah, it's a family.
And I don't want to say sisterhood. I want to say family.
It's a family. That's what we say. And that's what a lot of people say about the Care Project is when they come here, even here in our studio, we've got my grandma's couch in this room. You know what I mean? Like people come in and like, can I just take a nap? Sure. Take a nap. I'll turn the TV down,
Yeah. When you walk in that room, it feels like you're coming into a family.
Yeah. And a lot of people that like, I think what your point is like people that come through the Care Project in whatever capacity, if it's a partner like Thrive Cosmetics or Lymphedivas, they just become part of the Care Project family. Yeah. And as do most of the clients that come through. So yeah, that's been great.
And now they're all friends.
I want to talk about, since we said family, this might be a good unintended segue. When I was diagnosed, I was the booster president at North High School.
I saw the
so I
picture.
was a basketball mom. Yeah, you can find that on the website, careprojectinc.org. But I had one of my basketball babies on, Deshaun Heiler.
You did.
Deshaun Heiler, who that was our most downloaded episode.
Highest rated show.
It is talking about him losing his mom to breast cancer. And Jenny was, hashtag Team Jenny. Jenny was a fellow basketball mom at North High School here in Riverside. And Deshaun was a basketball player there and still playing basketball. I think he's at Sac State now. He was also just featured on Last Chance University, which you can catch on Netflix, which is an awesome show. And they talk about his experience. And so I didn't know he was filming that show. And I said, Deshaun, I want to talk to you when you're open about it, about losing your mom. Because I was there with her, with Dr. Martin, our another fellow basketball mom, excuse me, just hours before Jenny passed. And Deshaun was down in Los Angeles at school, and his aunt and grandmother were there with Jenny. And Jenny texted me hours before her death and said, "Can you and Dr. Martin come over? I'm not feeling good." And when we walked in, you could tell she was going to die that night. And I had to tell his aunt, as calmly as I could, to call him as calmly as she could and say, "Get him here now."
Yeah.
And he was able to drive back from LA, which is only about an hour or so, and be with his mom when she passed. And so we talked about that experience, and I've just watched him bloom all for her. Everything that she did to coach him in life, he's carrying on now, and he's doing phenomenal.
Yeah, there's somebody, Tom Silk 73 at Yahoo, commented and left a review saying, "Love the podcast with Deshaun Heiler as it walks through the tough moments of first being told about his mother's cancer to the ends of the story, and he continues to preserve and succeed."
Yeah.
A testament to his mom's strength and courage, and he labeled it Team Jenny.
Oh,
I just got chills. Whoa, God,
I got chills too, Team Jenny. And I told him, that's the thing is, I know him personally, and I know Jenny personally, and I sat with her. Literally, I saw the cancer on the outside, where it had grown on the outside of her body, and held her hand and asked her to let go. It was time. And that's an experience that I will never forget. And not because it was scary or it was this. I mean, yes, it was incredibly sad and it was scary, but it was such an honor.
And you said that before, and I.
It is such an honor to be with someone at the end of their life,
and especially when they requested you there, in a sense.
I have the chills now. Yeah, I'm so honored because I'm thinking you have a house full of family, but it speaks to the testament of the bond between cancer patients and cancer survivors is because we get it.
Yeah,
we get it.
And you get right to the point.
And we do get right to the point. And one of the things that's really poignant in that episode is I shared with him, which I had not shared with him before, is that one of the things she was doing on her deathbed was second guessing her choices in treatment. And I had to kind of walk her through it and say, wait a minute, because she was a research guru. Jenny was amazing.
Yeah.
She did all this research. She did not do just what the doctor said. She took what they said, compared studies, compared literature, got multiple opinions. And then she did what she was at peace with. And I had to say to her, were you at peace with the decisions when you made them? And she said, yes. I said, then your work is done.
Yeah, you did what you could.
And this is, I'm going off on a tangent, sorry. One of the main things we always say here is stop telling patients, don't give up. Just stay positive. Don't give up. If a patient is literally on their deathbed, do not say don't give up to them. Because guess what? Their mind and their spirit hasn't given up. Sometimes their body's just done.
Yeah.
And she needed to hear that. And I was able to say it in a way that she looked at me, a tear rolled down her eye, and she just said, thank you. That was a great episode. I know. Sorry, we got deep.
No. It's okay. Let's get back to a little bit of funness in a sense.
Whining with care.
Yes, that's where I'm going. Whining with care. Okay, so we have 3 episodes out now. One is the female, I don't say female, but the first one we had was Whining with Care. We had a sponsor. It's great. Had some ladies on, Lavetta. They all came on. They talked.
Yeah. Was it what, Lavetta and Heather, was it?
Yes, Heather. No, Heather was the second one, I think.
Was she?
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
The purpose behind the series, on the show, we created this series called Whining with Care. And the point was, that's whining with an H. I love to drink wine and wine taste, and we sometimes just need to whine about side effects, about diagnoses, about stupid shit that people say to us. And so we thought, screw it, we'll do it. Whining with Care. We thought we would do 1 episode. We've now got 4.
Got 4 total.
Right? 4 total. So the deal was the first episode, we brought in 2 metastatic patients, and we just wanted to talk like, what did somebody say to you that just drove you insane? It wasn't about slamming the people. It was about opening people's eyes to when you say, like, I talk about the kale story.
Oh, yeah. When somebody goes, yeah, you got breast cancer. Oh, you know what you need to do? You need to eat kale.
Yeah.
You need, because kale will help you. Kale's got lots of energy and ingredients and stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're saying I'm not eating kale already.
Yeah.
And you're blaming me for not eating healthy. That's why I got cancer. Right. So go to hell.
Right. Because you're insinuating when you do that. You know what? I recently started a TikTok, right, for the Care Project.
Yeah, I saw it.
I hate it because I love the app. I love what I'm doing, but I don't have time to do all this. But my social media guy's like, you got to do this. And I was like, all right. So I willy-nilly was like in my bedroom and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about chemo brain. So I like leaned over my camera. I'm like, let's talk about chemo brain.
Chemo brain.
You know, and so I talked about it and I was like, don't say that to people, right? And what ended up happening is that video has gone stupid.
Yeah.
It's been shared. Like this morning I looked at it, it's been shared like over 15, 16 times. There's almost 2,000 views because it resonates.
Yeah.
So that was the point of that series, Whining with Care. We're going to let them get it off their chest.
Oh, and it's fun.
It's fun.
You have to listen to these.
We sip
people.
wine, we taste wine, we promote wine products.
Oh yeah, we have a sponsor on a couple of them, and I think on the one with the male breast cancer patients we had, the male version, they were all with Zoom.
Yeah, they were all with Zoom.
So we were
had
just
our own
cheersing.
cocktails.
Yeah, we were just cheersing whiskey with everybody. They even got into it. I mean, it's the knee-jerk reaction you have when somebody tells you they have some disease.
Right.
Like, oh my God, are you eating healthy? Are you taking vitamins?
Yeah, you want to fix it. You want to offer them a solution.
Yeah, but
when really you should just say, you know what, I'm here for you.
Unless you're a doctor in that field, shut up.
Yeah, really don't.
Just say if you need something, I can help you.
I got you.
Ask me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but some people don't.
Those are some of my favorite episodes because I think it allows people to really just keep it real. And as a patient, when we're at home, we try to keep it together and set the tone for everybody else. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have kids, you try to keep it together, or if you have a spouse or a partner, it's like you want to just tell everybody you're fine when really you're not.
Yeah, you don't want them to see you going crazy.
Right.
Because
sometimes
then they're
you need to let
crazy.
loose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's what we do on that. I love those episodes.
Especially the one with your aunts.
Oh, my God.
Aunts,
yes.
Aunts,
so we had, first let's talk, briefly. We talked with Lori, who had reached out to me through Clubhouse. And she had every male and female patient in her family member on her dad's side of the family had been diagnosed with cancer, right?
Yeah.
So breast cancer. So she'd lost her dad to breast cancer, lost her granddad to breast cancer, and then every female and male on her dad's side had tested positive for the BRCA gene.
Wow.
So we talked to her, and then I was saying to Chris, oh my gosh, can you imagine like your whole family, like a lot of people being diagnosed? Right. And then I went, oh, wait, I can.
I'm like, didn't you just go to your aunt's in New Mexico?
Yeah. So in my family, my dad had renal cancer when I was 14, and then he lived with one kidney for 20 years. Then my Aunt Susie gave him a kidney, which, because the other one gave out, gave us another 10 years, and then ultimately he passed. But my dad has 3 sisters, and so his oldest sister, Auntie Edna, the boss, has not had cancer, thank God. But my Auntie Helen had cancer, breast cancer, stage 1. Then I had it, stage 3. And then just last year during COVID, my Aunt Susie, who's more like my big sister, and she's the crazy one.
We call her, like her a lot.
Yeah, we call her Auntie Meanie. Auntie Meanie. So she had breast cancer. So that we did a Whining with Care episode.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
I was like a fly on the wall for that one the whole time. It was just fun to watch. And,
we have a great sixth sense of humor, and that's what got us through. And I think a lot of families have that.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gives permission for others to go, oh, they're laughing about it. We could laugh about it too.
Exactly. Like this is my disease, my pain, but I have to take it with a grain of salt because I drive myself nuts.
Right. Yeah. You got to find your way of coping.
Right. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
We've had so many people on here. We've had couples. One of the people that I wanted to point out were Paul and Roxanne.
Yeah.
They were on the show recently.
Yep.
They recorded in studio. And they are amazing. Can you give a little background?
Yeah. So Roxanne was diagnosed with an extremely rare breast tumor called Phyllodes. And it's so rare. You can Google it, Phyllodes, and look at the show notes. We give you some information there. And about 8 days after, I think it was 8 days after she was diagnosed, Paul was diagnosed with stage 3 rectal cancer.
Yes.
So they went through, she had surgery. She did not have to have chemo or radiation. She did have surgery, and then he was going through radiation and surgery and all these treatments at the same time. So they had a tag team. Their doctors coordinated who was having what procedure.
And that's exactly what it was. It was like, all right, you're going to go in the ring now. Let's slap hands. Yeah. You stay there. I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And then when it's my turn, then you'll take care of me. And they had to teeter-totter their medicine. I don't know what the word. I'm looking for medication.
You're having my chemo brain. I think I've given you chemo brain.
No, I hit my head hard the other day.
Oh, geez.
Remember the scar?
I'm going to need you to keep it together.
You know how I got these scars.
Right?
I got another review on here from Katie Cat 80.
Oh, yeah.
She said the podcast is perfect for everyone. I am so enjoying this podcast. Yes, I'm a fellow survivor, but I am listening, and I also hearing so much super advice from all the other people out there too, who have never had to walk in our shoes, especially the most. And then somebody else said, Whining with Care is the episodes you should listen to. I'm a fellow survivor, know what not to say. That's the first thing you should do.
Yeah, yeah.
This is awesome. We've got 37 ratings, 5 out of 5 stars. Look at you. High
5 out of 5. High five.
All that from a crazy idea.
Crazy, big, bright idea that I have. Let me tie in, too, before we forget, because I always forget to talk about it. Along the lines of Whining with Care is our book.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Care Project is my nonprofit, which is why this podcast is produced by Chris's company, This Is Funner. And at that Care Project, we have a book called Handle with Care, or Your Support Group in a Book, which you can find on our website, thecareprojectinc.org, or on Amazon. And that book was written by two-time survivor and author Margaret Lush with my help, Carrie Madrid. And we had 10 other breast cancer survivors and thrivers and metastatic badasses who contributed. It's such an easy book. It's not like a read it from cover to cover. It's you're having chemotherapy? Let me turn to that chapter and hear how Lavetta dealt with it.
Yeah, it's like a reference.
Like a handbook.
Yeah, it's great because it comes from people that actually experienced it, not a doctor trying to tell you what to do.
Absolutely. Because you know what? Doctors and nurses can tell you, hey, you're having your first chemo. You're probably going to feel this way. Take this, do this. But we can then also give you our little home remedies, right? Doesn't every family have home remedies?
Perspectives too. Like
perspective.
It might affected Lavetta different than it affected
Absolutely.
you. So I used used milk and cabbage.
Right.
Well, no, I had chicken and I don't know, like whiskey. I think I did the chicken and whiskey.
Chardonnay.
You know what I mean? Like I used Tito's. What vodka do you use?
Yeah.
But
so this podcast is really sort of, in my mind, the book was an extension of the Care Project, right? And what we offer in way of emotional support and just tangible support, right? And then the podcast was just like a natural extension
of the book and the Care Project.
Of the book and the Care Project, because we couldn't meet. We started this during COVID. And so, I've had people say on our social media posts where they see the social club getting together, they would say, oh my gosh, I wish there was a Care Project in my area. Are you only in Southern California? And I'm like, yeah, we're this tiny little place. So this podcast has enabled us to have those conversations publicly.
Yep.
To the last time I looked, I think we had been listened to in over 40 countries. Craziness.
Yeah. And it's given people an avenue to reach out.
Absolutely.
If they hadn't learned about the Care Project just through whatever and gone to the website, now they, people that are into podcasting find this website, find the Care Project, find the podcast, find the book, all that stuff. And I'm trying to look right now at how many countries we're in, but I know India is up there.
Yeah. I think because Dr. Lopa, right? We had an episode with Dr. Lopa from Breast Cancer Hub.
Yeah, like 8% of our listenership's out of India.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome reach. It just goes to show you that, cancer in general, let alone breast cancer, doesn't discriminate, right?
Yeah.
Every country.
Ireland, Greece, UK, Netherlands, Russia, Sweden, you name it. We're in it.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. We're on all the platforms. Please share with a friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the friend doesn't have to have cancer. We're kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah, we're kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, like if you listen to the Whining with Care episodes, you'll know what you're going to get yourself into.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. We're not rated E for explicit, but sometimes I drop a little cuss word.
Yeah, but you're allowed.
I mean, it's just for emphasis. I'm working on it.
Well, no, you're allowed to do that. It's your show for one, and
one other episode I want to mention because I know we got to wrap soon. But I landed an interview with former NFL star Devin Still, whose daughter Leah was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and so we talk about. My point of all this is we talk more than just breast cancer.
Yes,
we've talked all types of cancer, testicular cancer with Matt Odie.
Yep.
Devin Still, the former NFL player, they have an organization, the Still Strong Foundation, which honors his surviving and thriving. She was 4, now she's like 8, I think. Leah, you can hashtag Leah Strong and see her story. She wasn't supposed to live, and she's lived, and she's doing amazing. And as a result, he started the Still Strong Foundation, which does exactly what the Care Project does. Only he's a celebrity, so he has a lot more in his budget than I do.
He gets a little more pull.
But he was so gracious to sit down with me through Zoom and have a conversation about his playbook for Leah and how to keep going. And to even go beyond his daughter's cancer story was we talked about his climb to success of making it out of where he grew up in a tough area and a tough situation into college, which was a feat in and of itself, and then into the NFL, despite career-ending injuries, right? And I'm a huge football fan, and you're a football fan.
Yeah.
So I was fangirling just the fact that I had a former NFL player, let alone sweet little Leah and her crazy journey with cancer, and to know that she's doing so well. So that was one of my favorite episodes. It's one of the longer ones, but
It's
so
worth it.
worth it for anyone to listen to.
And that's the stillstrongfoundation.org. God, she's adorable.
She is adorable.
So adorable.
They have such an awesome relationship. He is the dad that everybody should have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He is awesome.
He is awesome. And he was so kind to do the interview with me.
There's so many good people that have been on the show. It's just
we can't mention everybody.
No, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna go through a few shout outs in my mind. Lavetta Ross. I love her.
I do.
Gina, DJ.
Yeah.
Heather
Skipworth.
Heather does not have any F's to give.
Oh my God, I love Heather.
She's
Heather is
awesome.
metastatic. Heather and Lavetta are both metastatic. They have been given a terminal diagnosis and they are living their best lives. And they
make me ashamed of what I'm doing with my life.
They have incredible perspective. That's the thing is when you have a cancer diagnosis of any kind, whether you're stage 0 or you're terminal, you have an awakening, if you will, and you really get your shit together, so to speak.
And I had a similar one with my breakdown a few years ago,
Absolutely.
which opened my eyes up to definitely different priorities in my head now.
It's like any trauma, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's emotional, physical, psychological, any trauma, it just, I dare I say I'm not a medical professional, but in my life experience with the people I've talked with, it sort of rewires our brain almost.
Yeah.
Right?
It does. It turns the mirror around and you're like looking the other way through it. It's weird.
Say that again. Shit.
Turn the mirror around and look the other way.
Seriously, sometimes I do that on this show. I'm like, hold on. I got to say that again. Say it again. Say it again. That was a good one.
Well, thank you for letting me do this with you.
Yeah, thank you for taking it on and
I really enjoy
making it affordable for us to produce. I mean, this has been awesome. And that's the thing. We really need some sponsorships.
Yeah.
We would love to feature. We love supporting small business. So we've had like Highway 12 Winery. We've had One Hope Wine. Was there another wine company?
We didn't have wine on the last two.
We did
because they were both Zoom.
Yeah.
But we did have like other businesses on here like Limpiditas and stuff that are small companies and like the Support Sisters, always trying to support.
Always want to
these.
support small businesses.
Yeah.
So if you're a winery out there and you want us to feature your wine on the show, we're happy to do it. And
or if you have a business that's local or internet or wherever it's based,
whatever,
you can be a sponsor for a show.
Yeah, help keep it going. Because I told Chris, I don't know how long we can afford to do this. We're a small little nonprofit, but you know what? It's worked out, and we're good till the end of this year at least. And let's just mention the fact that we're changing the title a tiny bit.
Yeah, we're going to change it. Right now it's currently called Handle with Care, Breast Cancer and Beyond. But since we've covered, and we do cover more than just breast cancer, and we think that word's kind of a faux pas for some people. I think Dr. Knowles said that once.
Well, I think I think people tend to skip over our show because they think, oh, it's only breast cancer, but it's really not. It's not even just cancer. We've talked to people that have just had traumatic experiences and obstacles to overcome, and that's where we gain these perspectives. And so I think changing it to keeping Handle with Care, because I am Care of the Care Project, and we like to handle these topics with care, changing it to Cancer and Beyond. So the Beyond being
everything
into survivorship as well as into other topics that people just need to learn to handle with care.
Or ways to handle yourself with care if you're going through something.
Absolutely.
You can look at some Reiki, get some meditation, learn how to
mindfulness, wellness,
exercise,
sexual health.
Your trainer was on.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, Tim Crocker came on and talked about that.
All that stuff.
Yes.
So
massage therapy. Yeah. God, we've had a lot of shows.
52.
Holy
This is 53.
Hey, we made it.
All right. I love doing the show. Please rate, review, subscribe. This is funner.com, thecareprojectinc.org.
Yep.
To donate, join the Care Club, which is our monthly club. You can join $10 minimum a month, and you can just reoccurring
support the Care Project and this podcast.
And this podcast. So.
And Chris and his wife Evelyn at thisisfunner.com do voiceover work. They can do change your book into an audio book. Yep.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he will, or Evelyn will, record a commercial for our show. So get on it.
Yeah. No, we've got all the professional needs if you want to put a commercial on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.
I push that button over there.
Hey, take care.
Thank you for listening to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. Please let us know what you think of the show by leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to share it with a friend. For more information or to connect with Carrie, go to thecareprojectinc.org.